Hey everyone, this is Heather. It's been a really long time since I've done a reading, but I'm trying to get back into it. It's been a long couple of years with a lot of shadow periods, but I am working through those, and so I'm trying to come back on here at least sometimes. So the reading that I'm offering today is a 3-card reading, select a card reading, pick a card reading. I'm doing it a little different. We moved and I don't have my video set up where I did previously. So today I'm doing it a little bit differently. I've taken photos of the 3 piles and then pictures of each one of the readings, and I am going to attach a voice reading to it. It is a little odd. Hopefully it works. I am going to try and get my videos set up for the next time I do this, but if you have any problems with it or have any questions, please let me know. Wishing you all the best. Hello, pile 1. Okay, so let's start in the upper left corner with the receptivity card. The first thing that I got is allowing yourself to receive. It feels like you have been putting yourself out, doing a lot of things, maybe overworking yourself, maybe trying to please people. If that is the case, your guides, the universe is telling you you need to take a step back. Just relax. You don't have to do all the work. You're not meant to do all the work. It almost feels like some of you may be working to not necessarily fill a void, but to get love. I know myself included. Some of us, we have low self-esteem or we have childhood trauma that makes us want to work extra hard to get people's attention, to get people's love. It's that people-pleasing energy that we are kind of stuck with, and we're kind of like on a karmic cycle with, as far as wanting to gain people's attention through what we do, not just in being ourselves and who we are. It's all about what we do. And it feels like this is the time that you need to take a step back and say, okay, it's about me. I am putting myself first. Allow me to receive. Allow others to do the work. I'm not going to try to please everyone else. I am going to focus on pleasing myself and allowing the universe to receive. And this is twofold in one, giving yourself a break, but also in manifesting. When we put so much attention on trying to please others, we get more opportunities to try to please others. So it's kind of working opposite of probably what we want. The universe sees the energy that you're putting out, or it reads the energy you're putting out as that I'm trying to please others. I'm trying to work really hard to make others like me and make others people think that I can do this and that I'm competent and that I'm smart and that I'm beautiful. Whatever you're doing, the energy or the universe sees that energy and it says, okay, that's the energy that you want, or these are the situations that you want. So we're going to bring more situations your way. So the more focus you place on trying to please others, the more situations you're going to fall into where you have to please others. But when you change things and you flip that and you start saying, I am going to put myself first, then you will manifest more situations in which you are the focal point and you are liked and loved just for being you. Okay? So as we move on to card number 2, it's kind of in conflict to card 1, because card 1 receptivity is a very feminine card. The feminine energy is a relaxed energy. It's a not necessarily sit back and do nothing energy, but it is a calmer, more thought-induced, feeling-led kind of energy, versus masculine energy tends to be action-based. It tends to be logic, reasoning, etc. And so as we look into this card, you can also see the colors are kind of more dim. It's causing a conflict, but it's telling me that something within you is in conflict. Okay, it's going to be different for everyone. But it flows right into that third card, the anxiety card, is that something is causing you anxiety. It feels to me as if you feel that you need to be doing and taking action, otherwise nothing is going to get accomplished. But that's not the case. And that's why the universe is telling you in that first card, it is time to take a step back. Let's see. It feels like there's a lot of blocks, that all this anxiety, that this inner conflict, this needing to please is causing blocks, and you're getting downloads from the divine. And I see that in the fourth card, the sixth chakra, Archangel Metatron. I'm seeing that there's a lot of messages that are wanting to come in, that are needing to come in. Archangel Metatron is kind of the keeper of the... I'm drawing a blank right now. I'm sorry, but the Akashic Records. The keeper of the Akashic Records. Metatron maintains knowledge of everything that's going on in the universe and what has been and what will be. And your guides are trying to get this information to you because there's something that you need for your path. But with all this inner anxiety and turmoil and conflict, this back and forth that's happening within you, it's not allowing these downloads to come through. And I'm getting the feeling that a lot of this stems from past lives and childhood trauma. And so there's some karma involved. And it's something that you need to work through. So as you're taking time for yourself, it's also time to look into what your triggers are. Now, most of the time, what is going on inside is reflected into your external world, what's going on outside. So if you have inner conflict, you're also likely going to have outer conflict, external conflict, conflict with people, conflict with, spouses or children or in the workplace, things like that. So if you're having these situations rise up in your external world, turn that around and look inside. So say you're in a very toxic situation. What feelings are those bringing up? Are those bringing up feelings of self-esteem issues? Are those bringing up feelings of lack, feelings of scarcity, feelings of anger? Figure out what feelings those are bringing up. And sometimes you might be able to find parallels in your life. Sometimes when you're younger, you may not have as many. As you get older, these karmic situations tend to repeat themselves, and you will be able to see more of a pattern throughout your life of these similar feelings coming up and similar situations, maybe not the same people, maybe not the same exact situation, but you understand the feelings. Okay, I felt this horrible when my spouse cheated on me 10 years ago, or I felt this sense of hopelessness when I was being bullied in school. It's those things. If you can parallel the feelings, then you can figure out what feelings need to be healed. And a lot of times these feelings and these situations and these karmic patterns come from past lives, and so you can't necessarily go back to the beginning, but what you can do is you can work through the feelings. And I'm seeing that in the fifth card, this Caring Connections card. And it's not so much about relationship. I mean, for some of you, it could be relationships. It could be, certain situations that arise, or certain feelings that arise from situations. But this is more about caring for yourself and the possibility of connections that you have with others as you work through these emotions and feelings that might help you feel better. A lot of times working through these situations, working through these feelings, it's just going to take allowing yourself to feel and heal, crying, releasing the anger, however it is presenting itself to you, to allow yourself to release. But this could also mean that just taking time for yourself, you also put yourself into caring connections with family, with friends. Sometimes that may be needing to be alone and you're just giving yourself time and you're caring for yourself. But whatever is right for you, it's all about love. This could also be angels, your divine guides coming through and helping you. And if that's something that you believe in, lean heavily on your spiritual guides for helping you, whether it's, helping you with your emotions, or helping you with a particular situation, or bringing you guidance in your dreams. All you have to do is ask, and your guides are there. They're waiting to help. They are wanting to help, and they love to help. So make sure to ask your guides, reach out to your guides, anything that will help you work through these feelings. Okay, now as we move on to the bottom row, the first card is a volcano. So that's really more of what I was talking about up top, where your internal is going to be reflected in your external world. You're outside, what's outside yourself. So there could be volatility, there could be anger, there could be arguments, there could be explosions. As you're working through these feelings, there may be internal explosions. And if that's what you need, if you need some kind of release, then allow yourself to do that. Sometimes before we can get to the sadness and the actual release of the feelings, we have to release the anger. I always see anger as kind of a top level emotion, and anger, jealousy, resentment, that those are all, to me, kind of top level emotions, in that they're all kind of a crust on the surface. When you get down below that crust, you'll see sadness, you'll see a lack of self-esteem, you'll see shame. Those are the much deeper emotions that can really cause pain, but we put a crust on them, kind of, because those are the really deep, hurtful emotions, and they can really, really cause us some mental anguish. And so we put this crust on them of anger. And so when we get angry with people, it's not necessarily anger, it's the fact that we're resentful somehow, or we've been let down somehow, or somebody's hurt us. And so with this volatility this anger or any explosions, things like that are happening in your external world, or even inside, you're angry with someone and you don't know why, there's likely a deeper cause. And that's the time to go underneath and look at what is coming up for you, what those deeper emotions might be, where they come from. And you might not know where they come from, but at least you're seeing something, you're feeling something, and that's how you can work it out. So this, as we move on to the next card, the movement card, that explosion, any kind of explosions could very much allow a release within you and an expelling of those stuck emotions instead of motions, sorry. It might really allow any stuck emotions within you to come out and release. And once you get some of those blockages out, you'll start to see movement in being able to get those downloads and to get those places that are stuck in your life unstuck. And so it's kind of the energy that I'm feeling is you're doing all this activity to get things accomplished or to do something or to make something of yourself or to be seen or heard or whatever your goal is, and doing all this action, but it's actually blocking you more. And so by taking a step back, by allowing the universe to work for you, by working on yourself and your emotions, you're actually going to release the blockages and allow things to come in. So it's right now you're being called for internal work instead of external work. Okay. This next card is vigilance. And that, what I feel there is stay strong. If there's anything that's going on in your external environment, stay strong. That even though it may feel like things are stuck, like things are not moving, there's movement under the surface. And it's it's like you're surrounded by mountains, and it's not like these mountains have been mountains change and erode over time. Over time you can see it, but it doesn't look like anything's happening, even though something is happening. Hopefully that makes sense. So the major message, the key message here for this card, my guides are saying, is to have patience. Okay. Know that there is movement even if you might not see it. But as we move on to the very last card, I asked for this reading that we get some kind of a timeline, and it's saying first quarter moon. I am currently very close to the new moon, the dark moon, when I'm doing this reading. And so the first quarter is going to be in about a week. I'm doing this in January, but this will be a timeless reading. So for me, within a week would be by the end of January. So maybe within a week or by the end of the month for you, you should see some movement. Now, granted, that's not that far away. Sometimes you're holding on and doing things for years. So hopefully you will see some movement. And if you're not seeing any movement, maybe there's still some blockages there. Maybe something is still coming up. Ask your guides for a sign. That's going to be your key thing. If you're if you're having questions, if you're feeling stuck, if you don't know where to go, if you don't know about your emotions and what you're feeling, then take the time to reach out to your guides, ask them questions, ask for signs. And one key thing that they're telling me is you do not have to do a lot to accomplish something. Okay, you can do a little step. I mean, even if it's as simple as recognizing an emotion. I don't know if you're if any of you are like me, I have the tendency to go way overboard with things. And I feel like, okay, if I need to do healing, then I need to meditate for hours or this, that. That's not the case. Sometimes even recognizing where you have pain, recognizing a pattern, sometimes even the simplest of recognitions will be a huge catalyst for change and for unblocking something. So, pile 1, this is your reading. If you have any questions, please leave them below. I'm sending you lots of love and happy new moon. Hello, pile 2. Okay, let's take a look at your reading. We're going to start at the Green Man Synergy card on the far left. The energy of your reading is all about synchronicities. And I really noticed the green in the Synergy card, which is making me feel the heart chakra. And it feels like there's movement for you. Maybe you've been stuck and feeling hopeless or just feeling trapped or feeling like you're working in it's not taking you anywhere. But new beginnings are coming. And with that, there's going to be movement. And I see that in the waterfall card. They're telling me that anything that you try is going to be successful. Maybe not successful, but you're at least not going to feel stuck. You're going to feel like there's movement. Maybe you've been stuck mentally with creative ideas, or maybe you've been in a dead-end job. And it just feels like whatever you've been stuck with, whatever you've been dealing with, there will be movement. Now, this may come with some endings, okay? As we see the new beginnings card, I also feel like this could mean some endings for some of you. There's when something finishes, it closes a certain energy and allows for new energy. And so there may be an opportunity to finish something, or the universe may step in and say, okay, this is going to be over for you now. And so we can get this energy in your past so we can open up doors for new energy. So some of you may get a choice. Others, you may not. And I know this can come with heartache and fears, and just know that it is for your highest good, that your spiritual team has stepped in and they are taking it out of your hands and forcing you into your new beginning. So at this point, I'm also seeing that this could be very much a surprise for some of you. This fog card number 4, the fog veiled card. Some of this may come out of nowhere. It may be a very big surprise. First thing that comes to mind is a relationship. Maybe there's someone that you're in a relationship with that all of a sudden you find out they're cheating. And bam, there's obviously difficulties, and that may be the catalyst that you need to end the relationship. There could be a job situation where all of a sudden you're fired. This could come as revealing news about people around you. You know, maybe your friends have been saying poor things or about you or working against you. Some of these situations are absolutely heartbreaking, and I promise you, I have been through many of them, and I understand how awful and scary and terrible feeling they are, but have faith that it's for your highest good. It's to help you, and your guides are surrounding you and protecting you. And if you don't feel that, Ask for a sign. Ask them to show you that they're there, because they are ready, willing, and wanting to help you. So there will be some change coming your way, and it does look like for a few of you, it will be a shock. It will be a surprise. But it's not necessarily bad either. It could come across as all of a sudden a job that you've been wanting has an opening, and you're given that opening to take. It could be some of you have been wanting to move or travel, something's opening up, and all of a sudden this opportunity presents itself out of nowhere. So I don't want to focus on, oh my God, terrible things are happening, your life is going to fall apart. No. That's for some of us. I know that has happened to me on many occasions, because I am the type of person that I will stick with something and try to make it work and try to live with it, because I'm too scared of taking a step out of my comfort zone. So that's me. And so there's many times my guides have stepped in, and everything has just fallen all to hell because I haven't wanted to move. That is not everyone. So just because this may happen to some, it will not happen to all. So please do not think that this is a doom and gloom reading. I promise you it's not. I try not to focus on the doom and gloom. I want to make everyone just aware of the possibilities. So, but there are some surprises. The main focus is there are some surprises coming forth, and they're letting me know that the synchronicities, you might actually start to see warnings of what's happening. Not warnings as in be careful, like previews. I get that's probably a safer word to not scare everyone. They'll offer glimpses. So whatever's coming for you, you might actually get a feeling about it, or maybe someone you gets a job and you're like, oh man, I so wish I could get a new job. But these are little glimpses about what could be coming for you. It could also be certain things that are aligning just for you to receive exactly what you want or need. So sometimes synchronicities are very strange. I know sometimes I've heard something on the radio, like an announcer say, and answers a question I was just asking. It's very strange how these pop up, but the more you pay attention to them, and the more you allow your intuition to lead you one direction, or to at least be open-minded to certain things, you're going to get a lot more signs and synchronicities and messages from the divine. And these things might help you, guide you, get your psyche prepared for what's coming for you, for what's coming with the change. And it's all to get you closer to your divine path. Okay. This is all trying to get you aligned with what your soul chose for you during this lifetime. Now, I won't get too deep into that, but let's move on to the next card, the visions. This kind of goes hand in hand with what I was just talking about with the synchronicities. You may even be having dreams. Now, some of you out there, it feels like some of you might be more spiritual in this pile. You might have the ability to be clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient. You might have visions frequently, either in your dreams or in your waking hours. You might be seeing things and feeling things and noticing a change in your external world. Pay attention to all of it. It seems like a lot of times when we're sleeping, our subconscious is able to open up, and we can interpret things that it's working through. I don't know much about the subconscious, but this is what's coming through. So I'm just going to say it. And so hopefully that makes sense to someone. But the sleeping hours are going to be important to some of you to allow you to open up, I guess, it's kind of like a wall coming down of your conscious mind that's allowing the subconscious kind of freedom. And I do know that our subconscious controls most of our actions. It's not the conscious mind, it is the subconscious mind that controls the majority of what we do. I'm not going to get too much into it because it is really deep, and there's a lot of science to it, and I'm not going to have time and probably don't have the words to explain it all very well. But what I'm being shown is that as the conscious mind falls away as you're asleep and dreaming, your guides and your higher self can help you with what you're trying to create for yourself in your life through your subconscious mind. Something that just popped in is that sometimes some affirmations can help. That's why a lot of times they say doing affirmations or listening to affirmations at night is very helpful while you're sleeping, because with the subconscious mind with the conscious mind asleep, paralyzed kind of, those affirmations and words can get into the subconscious mind and kind of do some reprogramming, and that helps you during your waking hours. So if that's something that you're into doing, look into affirmations or maybe meditations to calm you or to release fears, whatever you might be struggling with right now. Maybe do something like that at night while you're sleeping. And they're telling me that is what's going to help you through this process. Okay, I feel like I'm rambling here. So let's go on. We have 4 more cards. Abundance. Let's see. Obviously, abundance, there's things coming in. But I'm picking up on that. There's a ton of things like that are around you. But there's one thing that you really, really want. And it feels like with this change, it's going to be that one thing is going to be available for you. It's going to, you really do, you are absolutely surrounded by abundance in all forms. But that one thing that you want is there. However, it's going to require a bit of a journey. And in this journey, there's going to be some deceit, okay? You're going to have to decipher for yourself what is right for you and what is not. And it feels like a game, and I don't like that, but it's really not. It's almost like I see like a person in an old castle, and I see a person who just has like a gold coin or something. And as they go by this castle, all these people are reaching out. Hey, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. Mine is the best. You need this, you need bread, you need, clothing, you need jewels, whatever. But it's kind of like you have to keep your eye on the prize. There's going to be a lot of distractions. There's going to be some lies. There's going to be people who are not what they seem. And it's keeping your eyes on the keeping your focus on what you absolutely want. Hopefully that makes sense to some of you. It's jumbled. I'm sorry. I'm seeing a bunch of stuff right now. And so, but I think this is going to be different for each of you, but the main point is to stay focused on what you absolutely want. Give me a second. Okay, you might have to, at some points, you might have to speak up and assert yourself. Okay, so as I going back to that, what they were showing me with that, the person with the cat in the castle going through, people are trying to sell them everything, and it gets like tighter and tighter and tighter, more people forcing stuff on you, more people talking to you. And at some point you're going to have to say, shove off, all of you. This is not what I want. So I don't know, maybe some of you are being pressured by family or your spouse, maybe by coworkers, and they're pressuring you into one direction, and you can feel it. You can feel that it's not right for you. Maybe some of you can't really identify it, or maybe some of you outright know, I hate this. This is not what I want, but I don't know how to get out of it. At some point, you might have to use your voice, your throat chakra, and actually speak what's on your mind, speak what's in your heart, and stand up for yourself. And it just, they just took me back to this fog, this veiled card, and the yellow in it. It's straight in my face, the solar plexus chakra. And that's what I was feeling in these other two cards down here, the Blossom Abundance and the Journey card, the solar plexus chakra. It might be to the point where you just have to stand up for yourself, and you have to be vocal about it. You have to say no. And this could be the point where you have to leave something. You have to leave a job. You have to separate yourself from friends. You have to, push aside a family member or something like that. Also, this deceit card coming back in too. It's really some of this, like, it's not necessarily deceit. Some of what is being pushed against you, I guess, maybe a good way to describe it is your root chakra. And so maybe what's kind of, I don't want to say tormenting you, but what's bothering you or making you think twice about acting or anything like that. Fears from childhood, from past lives. So if you didn't have a lot of money as a child, maybe it's bringing up those fears. And so as you progress through this journey of following what you really want, or looking for what you really want, going after what you really want, you're going to have to work through those fears, work through those, anything with, scarcity, or if you were abused, then maybe it's standing up for yourself. We just talked about the solar plexus chakra. A lot of people who were abused as children or had, as children or in their lives, maybe it's a traumatic, abusive marriage, something like that. If you've gone through that, then you might have to work through those feelings. And I think that's what this deceit card is all about. It's some things that are pulling you, not necessarily, people forcing you to do things, but it could be these situations are cropping up and saying, I need this attention. I need this attention. It's your fears and your traumas and things from your past and even past lives that are saying, I need to be worked through before you can move forward toward your goal. Okay, hopefully that all makes sense. I'm going to move on to the last card, and I asked my guides for a timeline for this reading. So it's saying full moon. Now, I am currently right at a new moon. So this may unfold in the next month. Maybe not all of it unfolds in the next month, but maybe some of these things start happening. Maybe you see some change. Maybe you see some of these synchronicities and these indications. Maybe situations start coming at you that require you to look at your past and go through those emotions within the next month. But it feels like within the next month, according to my guides, you're going to see something happening. Okay. I am going to end your reading there, pile 2. I hope you understand everything. If you don't, or you have any questions, please leave me a message below. I'm wishing you a happy new moon, and I'm wishing you all the best over the next month. Hello, pile 3. As I'm shuffling your cards, I notice there's a few cards from previous piles as well. The volatility card was shown, it came up in pile 1, and the fog and dawn cards came up in the last reading, pile 2. So if you're called to look at either one of those piles, look at those as well. Okay, let's start with the Healer of the Ages. Okay, that card always comes across to me as Jesus, as Christ energy, and healing with the hands. And then we look at the second card, Magician in the Mirror. What I really felt with this energy is Merlin and the Violet Flame, Saint Germain and Lady Portia. And as we go 4 cards down to the energy field adjustment, what's really coming through is a lot of healing is needed for you. There could be, it almost feels like looking at this man holding a card coin, the third card. It feels like there has been temptation lately, or people that are standing in front of you waving things that you want, like almost like flaunting or taunting you. You know, it's like hanging dangling a carrot in front of a rabbit's nose. You know, come on, come and get it. But it always seems just out of reach. Like you just can't get there. You just can't grasp it. And I know there's a lot of stuck energy right now. We are in winter. I mean, this is a timeless reading, so it may not be winter when you're watching this. But I'm currently in January, and January is generally a time to go, not January, I should say just the winter in general is a very feminine energy. It's time to go inside. It's time to work on your inner self. It's time to sort through emotions and things like that. And so whenever you read this, or whenever you're watching, listening to it, it may not be January, but the winter kind of energy is still cocooning this reading, in so far as to say, it's time to go inward for inward healing. Take a step back from what you're doing to work on sorting through emotions. That's really what it feels like. It feels like maybe you've had some outside people attacking you almost, or people's energy in your energy field. There have been situations that have really maybe brought up triggers for you. Maybe, you know, as we see down below, maybe there's some volatility. Maybe you've had some external situations that have blown up in your face lately. Maybe some explosive emotions. This is really your message to take a step back and sort through what's going on inside of you. And this was the exact almost identical message to pile 1. So if you are drawn to pile 1, you can listen to that one as well. There may be another additional bit of insight there for you. But this is also something that's coming up is cleaning out your chakras, maybe listening to some meditations, because although pile 1 kind of dealt with situations and emotions from the past, this pile really feels like attacks from external people. Maybe you have family members that you have been dealing with that are throwing you shade, as my kids laugh at me when I say, but that have been giving you issues, that have been bringing up topics, or that have been triggering you. Maybe there's people that you work with that are jealous and have been taunting you or making your life miserable. Energy vampires come to mind, and people who are just attracted to your light. And I think there's some very highly sensitive and highly spiritual people in this group that have really, really high energies. And when lower vibrational people are around these very light, very high energies, there's something there that they want it, they covet it, and that's the energy vampire. They go after you to steal your light. And think of, these are the people that make you kind of shrivel inside. And I hate to say that, but these are the bullies. These are the people that put us down. These are the narcissists. And by making us feel weak and sad, we dim our light, and they gain power from that. And it's horrible. It's horrible situations, unfortunately, but it happens all the time. And for pile 3, I really see this as kind of a prevalent energy for you right now. And it's, I think it's stirring up, for some of you, it's stirring up fears, traumas, sadness from your inner child. And so as I was looking at the fish really got my attention in the 4th card, in the energy field adjustment card, to really focus on your inner child right now, that sacral chakra, and building back trust with your inner child. And trust came through. I don't know why. For some of you, I think there's a situation, not a situation, but probably result of many situations, that you have this huge divide between yourself and your inner child. And that's the ego that's coming forward from pain, as a result of pain. The ego can develop from pain as a shield to protect ourselves. It's, and so for those of you who have this divide with your inner child, this ego actually is from your inner child. It is your inner child helping you protect your adult self from the pain and trauma that your inner child felt, that you felt as a child. And so what you're being asked to do this month, and I say month, I'll get to the timeline cards in a minute. But what you're being asked to do, to start and to do over the course of the next month, is connect with your inner child. And we do that by letting our inner child into our adult world. Letting our inner child choose which movie to watch, which meal to eat, Choosing to play a game with your children instead of working. It's allowing your inner child to delve into feelings that they've been too afraid to access for years. The adult versions of ourselves are a lot of times the traumatized versions, the traumatized egos of our child selves. And that has to do with the subconscious. And, when our childhood, when we experience trauma or things like that in our early childhood. But the point is, you're really being called to focus on healing that relationship with your inner child. And by healing the relationship, it will also allow the inner child to heal. And moving forward, you will have a stronger platform for making adult decisions that are more whole and aligned with your path. And that makes sense. Some of you may know and understand that when we come into this world, we are just the soul. Children are just incarnations of their soul form, and they have no knowledge of the earth, the world, in their current life anyway. And so they're learning, and as we get older, the world traumatizes us to a point where we become all ego and we lose our connection to our soul. But our soul is where we keep all of our knowledge, all of our sacred knowledge, all of our knowledge of past lifetimes, our connection to our higher self, and our plans for what we want to do during this lifetime, how we can help humanity, how we can relieve karma, etc. So you may not be all ego. Some of you may be living in a lot of ego, and you're having problems, or you've just lost your connection. Some of you might be very, very highly spiritual, and the world has just traumatized you to the point where you are all ego just to protect yourself. And we're coming to a point in our spiritual evolution on earth that we need to release that ego and get back down to our basic divine selves. And so I'm sorry I'm spending so much time. There's so much to download that they're wanting me to share. So it's really important that pile 3, you are taking a look at your inner child and really spending time healing the inner child. As we move on to the next row of cards, the strength and volatility card they're kind of like holding hands for me mentally right now. There may be some situations. We talked about the man holding a coin with people potentially taunting you or holding things in your face. This may be the time where some things come up, some additional things come up, and your inner child is crying out. And so if our inner child is not balanced, it will come out through the solar plexus in very kind of childlike ways. I mean, I'm sure many of you have seen adults have tantrums before, and that's our inner child. When our inner child is ignored, it all of a sudden can rise up and say, give me attention. And it often comes through vocally or through the solar plexus, in that we're not getting the attention we need. And so we have a tantrum, we have an explosion, we attack someone. Same thing goes for people attacking us. And so I'm not saying that you're going to throw tantrums or attack anyone this month, but there might be situations that cause you to all of a sudden have to stand up for yourself. And I'm not saying don't do that. I'm not saying do that. You need to feel what's right for you. If you are vocal with someone or about a situation, that is your inner child. And I absolutely am not one to shy away from releasing pent-up anger or issues or frustrations with people. I'm not one that can sugarcoat things, and I'm generally not one that will shy away or, eat my words just to make other people happy. So I'm not going to say don't do that. You need to feel out what's right for you. And if you are very vocal or you do throw a tantrum, then you know what? You're getting that energy out. You're getting that release. So there may be some situations like that. What they're telling me with the Strength card is if situations like that unfold, do not beat yourself up about it. Okay? You're in a space of learning. Okay? Like in the volcano card, it erupts, blows off steam, it gets that pressure release, and then it's calm. So what that will do for us is that will show us where we're hurting. If it's all about those triggers, and our inner child gets triggered and there's an explosion and we realize, okay, what just happened? That's a learning experience where we can see what caused, or we can at least delve into, maybe not see, sometimes that takes time, but we can delve into what that situation caused, okay? Maybe it was, your parent reminding you that you're not getting any younger as far as having children, and that causes an explosion, and you realize it's an insecurity about your age, or it's an insecurity about someone else's expectations because you don't want to have children, or something like that. It's allowing yourself to view these little explosions or situations of anger to figure out what's underneath. And I explained in one of the other videos that emotions are kind of like a crust. Whereas, anger, some of those more volatile emotions are the top crust, but the kind of the gooey emotions, if we're talking about a pie, the gooey emotions, the emotions that are really, really deep within, sadness, shame, the ones that we really need to get into, those are down below. So once you take off the crust, you take off your anger and you see what it is, then you can get to the deep emotions down below, and those are the emotions that you need to work through, the feelings that you need to heal. Okay, so as I move on, the fog, the veiled card, part of that is that solar plexus chakra that I already talked about. But another thing is things might still feel foggy to you, okay? But as you go through all this healing things, you will see potential new beginnings occurring. And it may take some time, but you will get there. And it will happen. Sometimes it's a slow process. Going back to the Strength card, you just need to have strength and keep going. Now, the one card that I did not cover was the fifth card up top, the mermaid, the present, the gift, treasure. As you work through some of these emotions, there's going to be something that you find that is going to help you. And it feels like some kind of a revelation. Like as you work through these emotions, you're going to realize, oh, that's what that is. That's what that means. Oh, this emotion has been causing me to do this. Or this is why I react the way I do to this. It's not going to be just one. I think you're going to get one. I mean, you're going to get them periodically as you go through your healing process. And these really are gifts. They're glimpses into the bigger picture. And the more you find out about yourself, the more you heal yourself, the more you can find out about who you are, where you come from, and your actual soul's path and history. Okay. The last thing I'm going to do before I close this out is I asked for a timeline for this reading. And 3 cards came out and they were all new moon. Okay. So I am currently, it's January 28th, and we are currently about to have a new moon. So for some of you, this might be immediately. You might be going through a situation that allows you to get this insight. Maybe something is blowing up in front of you and all this is happening and you're getting this immediate insight to make changes. I think for some of you, it could happen by the next new moon, maybe next month or the moon after that. So I'm feeling that this is different for everyone. But it feels like it should be within the next 3 new moons. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so I am going to end the reading there. If anyone has any questions, please leave them below. I wish you all the best over the next month and the next few months for everyone in this card reading. And I'm wishing you a happy January new moon. Take care.